to Faith Unscripted today. We're walking by faith is the only way. Trusting God wherever I'm sent. I have to be real, raw, and relevant. It's Faith Unscripted.
You're watching Faith Unscripted, coming to you from the greater Chicago area. Now, here's Pastor Moses.
As a single, you have more time to serve Jesus and do what Jesus has called you to do. Watch what he says, 1 Corinthians 7, verse 32. He says, I want you to live as free of complications as possible. He says, when you're married, you're free to concentrate on simply pleasing the master. That's Christ. Verse 33, he says, marriage involves you all the nuts and bolts of the domestic life and in wanting to please your spouse, leading to so many demands of your attention. All the married folks said, showy right. Says the time and energy that married people spend on caring for and nurturing each other, the unmarried can spend in becoming whole and holy instruments of God. I love it. In other words, as a single, there is no excuse for you not to be growing closer and serving Jesus. All right, you should be intentional about serving Christ because you do not have the marital duties that married people have. The implication is this: you cannot be single and use your free time to ignore Christ. You just can't say, I'm going to be single and saved and just ignore Christ and spend all my free time just on me, making life about you, not going to church, not serving in church, not serving the community, not investing or pouring into anyone else. No. That is out of order. The truth is, whether you're married or single, as a Christian, your life is never about you. It is always about serving somebody else. And as a single, hear me good, singles, please be committed to serving Christ and doing what he has called you to do. Somebody shout, I'm going to do what he called me to do. All right, so now we're talking. Are y'all still here? All right, so now we're talking about this first group, right? Big three questions. You answer those three questions, you say, okay, I'm called to be single. Here's my instruction. Number one, commit to being celibate. Commit to celibacy. Don't play with that. Do it God's way. And if God called you to be single, he'll give you grace to do it. All right, commit to community. Don't live life by yourself, all alone. No, organize you a community of people that can be there for you, that can engage in life with you. And then thirdly, give your all to Jesus Christ. And you ought to be able to give him more because you have a little bit more free time. Is that all right? I said, is that all right? All right, now we dealt with the first group. Now let me deal with this last group. All right? The last group is this group that says, Pastor, I answered the three big questions. And Pastor, single, I may be it now, but it ain't my permanent destination. I'm called to be married. I'm supposed to be married. And it is clear that he has called me to be married. Okay, great. Here are some things I need you to do, all right? Here are the set of instructions for you. Number one, if you're graced or called to be married, the first thing you need to do is, number one, go through, a season of prayer. All right? Called to be married, all right? That's how you do it. Number one, go through a season of prayer. Now, I mean this with all seriousness. Because I know from a church perspective, when you hear prayer, you may just say, okay, anyway. No. I'm serious about this. Don't ever start looking for a mate without praying first. And I'll tell you why. Because sometimes if you're not careful, you can be led to look for a spouse by the wrong thing. Instead of being led by the Holy Spirit, you will be led by some other stuff. Can I give them to you? All right? You can be led by stuff like lust. It ain't that I'm in love, I'm just lustful. I'm lustly. I don't know this is a real word. Just lustful. You know what I'm saying? I just want to engage in some stuff. And that's my motivation. That is leading me. You got to be careful when that's the only thing leading you. Secondly, you can be led by your emotions. You can just emotionally want a relationship with somebody, someone to be there for you, someone to love you so that can lead you. Sometimes you can be led by your biological clock. You say, I'm getting older and I want a family, I want kids. I got to find somebody to latch on to who will give me some babies because I want to have a future. And sometimes that can lead you. Sometimes it can be pressure. Every time you go to grandmama them house, they picking on you. You ain't mad yet? You ain't mad yet? What's wrong with you? And so you're just tired of all the pressure, and that's pushing you to get married. Sometimes it can be finances. Perhaps you want somebody to bail you out, or you're trying to find somebody who can help you handle your financial burden. Sometimes that can lead you. Sometimes it can be loneliness. Just tired of being by yourself. And please hear me good. When you are led by these things, if you're not careful, it will lead you to settle. And remember what I told you on last week, it's better to be single than to settle. And this is real deep for somebody. Hear me good. And if you're currently in a dating relationship, here's a good question to ask yourself. When my partner showed up, was I in a season of prayer? When my future spouse showed up, what type of season was I in? Was I in a season that my pants was burning? Was I in a season that I was depressed and I just needed some company? Was I in a season I had watched Housewives and it got me gassed up? I want to be with somebody too. Was I being pressured, or was I on my knees? Was I telling God, God, send me the right person? God, I'm open. What kind of season were you in? Because this is deep. Because if not, it may be that you could be hooking up with somebody for the wrong reason. And this is why prayer must be the first step. Because prayer protects you from the enemy's plan. Prayer also guarantees that you will find the person that is just right for you. Because here's what I believe. I believe if you're called to be married, God's got the perfect person for you. But you got to get them through prayer. Oh, God. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6, NLT says this. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Paul says, don't you ever think you can just do something without prayer first. He says, child, please, you better learn how to pray about everything. And matter of fact, when you pray, Paul said, you got the right to be specific. Come on, you got the right to tell the Lord what you need, not what my mama needs for me, but what I need for myself. Are you hearing me here? And when you pray for that spouse, pray for compatibility. Pray that God will send the person with you, that y'all are compatible spiritually. Pray that there's a physical attraction. Whatever you like, pray that God will give it to you. If you like top, pray for top. If you like bottom, pray for bottom. Whatever you like, come on here. Whatever you like, pray that God will give you what you like. Pray that God will hook you up with somebody that you socially connect with. Somebody that y'all got some things in common. And don't miss this, don't miss this, don't miss this. Watch this. And here's another principle. Hear me good now. When you're praying, here's another principle. Focus your prayer for the right person, not the right package. Because when you begin to pray, I'm saying when you begin to pray, sometimes God will give you what you need in a package you may not always like. But if God sent them to you, come on, how many of you know if God sent them to you, over time somebody just started looking better? Come on, I don't know what happened to you, but you got finer as the days go by. Come on, God will, come on somebody, if you do it God's way, he'll hook you up with what you. So although physical appearance is important, don't base it all on looks. What kind of life they have. Don't make it all about style. It's got to also be about spirituality. All right? Because the perfect mate for you cannot be found, hear me good, unless you are willing to go through a season of prayer. And once you start praying, use your faith to draw them in. Man, I'm helping somebody today. Y'all ain't even saying amen good enough for me, but I'm helping you anyway. Yeah, use your faith to draw them in. Go through the faith process. You remember? Hearing is the first part. Faith comes by hearing. So every day, quote scriptures about your future. I know the plan that God has for me. Plan to prosper me. Plan to bless me. To give me unexpected end. Quote it. Hear that. Receive that word. Believe that God got the right person for you. Start speaking it. Somebody say, you married? Not yet. Come on, you begin to speak that thing by faith. Something's about to happen. And begin to move in the direction in which you believe God for. Which means if you're single, you can't stay at home all the time. I promise you, Mr. or Mrs. Right ain't going to knock on your door and just find you. Unless they're an Uber driver. Other than that, they ain't going to find you. You're going to have to learn how to get out, be visible. Come on, just walk through the mall by faith. God, somebody's going to find. I'm just going to walk. Somebody's going to find. Come on, you got to go out and enjoy yourself and do life. And as you're moving, that's when God's going to orchestrate things to make sure that you found the right person. Why? Because you prayed them in. Y'all don't like this kind of preaching, I see. All right, so if you're called, are y'all still with me? If you called to be married, first of all, hear me good, go through a season of prayer. I'm serious about that. Pray. Paul says pray about everything. Don't play with that. Don't just believe it'll just happen. No. Pray about it, all right? Number one, go through a season of prayer. Are y'all still with me? I'm working hard for y'all today. All right, number two, go through a season of preparation. All right? Which means you must, now watch it, begin to prepare for what you've been praying for. Start preparing yourself for what God is about to send your way. Proverbs, write it down, Proverbs 24, verse 27, NOT says this, do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house. The text says before you try to build something, first plan and prepare yourself. Now, this is so important as it relates to getting married. In other words, before you say I do, make sure you are prepared and ready. And can I give you a couple of areas of preparation? Start preparing yourself, number one, physically. So that when God sends you a spouse, hear me good at home, you want to be the best person you can be in your physical self. So start now working out. Start now eating right. Because if you've been praying and you believe God's going to send you somebody, when they come, I want them to see the best of me. Are y'all hearing me today? I said, are you hearing me today? Because, come on, you got to start working out. Getting yourself together, because in the reality, if you did singleness the right way, when you get married, you're going to need some stamina. That went over your head. Come on. If you did it the right way now, come on. If you did it the right way when it's time to be married, you're going to need to get your wind up. You're going to need to be ready for what God. So start now working out for what God is about to send your way. All right? Talking about preparation, all right? Seriously, if you're single, you believe in God for a spouse, start getting your body, prepare yourself physically. Number two, prepare yourself emotionally. Get your heart whole. Get healed from the grief of past relationship. Even begin to get yourself healed from present day hurts. Begin to get to a place of wholeness so that you can accurately answer that third question. I have reached a place of wholeness in key areas of my life. Are you hearing me here? Prepare physically, emotionally. Here's the last one. Prepare mentally. Hear me good. Take care of your mental health. All right? Because hear me good. Make sure that you are mentally tough enough to get married. So when you get married, your mind got to be strong. And if you got a weak mind, marriage is going to mess you up. It's stressful. It can be difficult. If you're raising a family together, it's a whole lot. Paul said it. Everybody wants your attention. You got to take care of your job, got to take care of your spouse. And if you got a needy spouse like me, I need mine. I need my feet rubbed. I need my back cracked. I need all of that stuff. Come on. So if you got somebody who's needy, it's going to take some time from bills going to show up. Unexpected sickness going to hit that relationship. Your mind's got to be ready. And please hear me good. You don't want to be married and marriage make you mentally miserable. That you say, my life was all right till I married. That's when I lost my mind. Are you hearing me here? All right? So prepare your mind. Get your mind strong, all right? Physically, emotionally, mentally. Okay, I'm sorry, there's one more. Domestically, prepare yourself. Which means before you get married, especially if you're a man, secure you a residence. You can't marry her and move her in the mama's basement. Notice that before God gave Adam a wife, he first gave him a residence. He said, I created a garden for you that when I give you this wife, you already got some place for her to be. Begin to get yourself together domestically. And even if you're single, if you're a man or woman, start to learn how to cook. If you're a man and a woman, learn how to cook so that every day you ain't got to be eating out. Learn how to take care of some simple stuff. In other words, prepare your life beyond you. Because when you're single, it's all about you. But when you get married, somebody else comes in and you got to learn how to transition. Are y'all still with me here? Somebody shout, give my pastor 5 more minutes. All right. Talking about those who are supposed to be married, all right? Number 1, do what? Go through a season of what? Prayer. Number 2, season of what? Preparation. Here's the last one, I'm done. God bless you. See you next week. Third and finally, go through a season of pruning. Season of pruning. Let me explain. Now, pruning is an agricultural word that refers to a process in landscaping. Pruning means, now watch this, to remove dead and dying branches and stubs. Here it goes. Allowing room for new growth. And you do that so that the branches and stubs won't destroy your property. See, sometimes if you don't go through this season of pruning and you end up getting married, you're going to marry somebody and you're going to be a mess. And don't nobody want to marry a mess. You see, when you begin to prune your life, you go through a season of removal and restructuring. You got to remove dead stuff in your life and begin to restructure your life for growth, longevity, and productivity. And let's be clear. I'm done. Let's be clear. Can I be clear? Here's some things that I believe you got to prune before you get married. I got 3 minutes left. There are some things you got to prune before you get married. Number 1, before you marry anybody, the first thing you should prune is your craziness. Look at somebody saying, you know you crazy. You know you're crazy. Come on, man. I'm talking about your character. Make sure you're living a life of integrity. Make sure that you remove all the foolishness. Make sure you remove all those crazy mentalities. Make sure that when you with somebody, all your foolishness, all your craziness is out the way so that when you do marriage, you can do it the right way. Number 1, you got to prune your craziness. Should I say this one? I'm going to say it. Number 2, prune your credit. Because hear me good, no one wants to marry a bill. That every time they look at you, they see a bill. can't even have sex because every time they get happy, it just goes down when they see you because they just see money going out the door. Come on. Before you marry somebody, don't marry somebody that you're going to mess up their credit. You're going to mess up their financial situation. No, bring some to the table. Say, I got a good credit score. I fixed that stuff. I paid off all my debt. I'm ready for marriage now because I got something to bring to the table. You don't want to start a marriage with financial stress. Man, that'll make you divorce so quickly. You married and you're both struggling. Two broke people can't have joy. And so before you get married, start chipping away. Start cutting the branches of bad credit so that you can make room for the prosperity that God wants to send your way. Here's the last one. Y'all ain't going to like this last one. I got 1 minute left. Y'all ain't going to like this last one. You got to prune your craziness. Prune your credit. Here's the last one. You got to prune your company. Because for some of us, before we get married, we got to remove and restructure some of the company you keep in your crowd. And there's two types of pruning that you have to do as it relates to your company. Number one, you got to prune past flames. Cut off the old people that you used to hook up with. Cut off the old people you used to date. Now, if you're co-parenting, that's one thing. But outside of that, don't be with somebody but still holding on to somebody else. So you with them, but you ain't all the way them because your mind is with me, but your body is with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. Come on, when you be with somebody, be with somebody. There's some folk you may have to stop being Facebook friends with. There's some folk you may can't follow on Instagram because now God's taking me to a higher level and I don't need nothing that's going to distract my spirit. Come on, you got to prune past flames. Then secondly, you got to prune problematic friends. These are drama magnets that people in your life, and all they do is just create drama. Every time you see them, they got something going on. Like Michael Jackson got to be starting something. Come on, they got to always be starting something, always doing something. You don't need to get married and bringing other people to the marriage that's going to create drama, asking unnecessary questions, all up in your business. The devil is a lie. There's a season of cutting. There's a season of removing. There's a season of restructuring that you ought to do, that when you say I do, you got it all together. And hear me good. If you prune your craziness, your credit, and your company, I believe you'll qualify and be ready for the next level. And I hear what you're saying. I'm done. But I hear what you're saying. Leave me alone over there. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. God darn, Pastor. That's a lot. I mean, you said before I get married, got to do all of that? Sounds like to me, you want me to be perfect. My response to you. It's not that I want you to be perfect. I want you to be polished. Ain't nobody perfect. But there are some people that are more polished than other people. And some of us are going in relationships to marry and we ain't polished enough. Scratches everywhere. You know, when you polish your shoes, you got to shine them shoes. Make sure it's shining. Make sure it's right so that it can shine, that other people can see the glory of the shine. The Lord said in this season, I'm just trying to polish you so that when you get married, other people can see the shine of your marriage and I will be glorified because you took a season to get yourself together. And I believe I've got some witnesses that can testify. If you just take a season to get yourself together, the favor of God will do the rest. Come on, somebody shout, the favor of God will do the rest. I'm done. And so the myth that marriage is for everybody, it's just that. It's a myth. It's a myth. All of you may not supposed to be married. And once again, some of you probably got married, you should have been single. And some of you single, you need to get married. Just depends on the questions that you got to answer for yourself. But here's my point, and I'm done. All I've been trying to tell you for the last 4 weeks is whether you're married or whether you're single, learn how to start doing things God's way. And it's always best to tell the truth in marriage, even when you know it may hurt. Sometimes when there's a lack of loyalty in the area of faithfulness, you run the risk of divorce.
Join us every Sunday virtually on Facebook Live, live stream, or YouTube for a powerful, impactful word.
Remember now to get your praise on every Sunday
on Facebook Live, live stream, or YouTube for a powerful, impactful word.
Hi, I'm Lucretia Herring, Executive Director of Faith Movers Academy. Faith Movers Academy is located right here on the grounds of Faith Movers Church. Born out of our senior pastor, Pastor Moses B. Herring Sr.'s vision to have a Christian academy that marries spiritual growth and development and academic rigor, Faith Movers Academy provides for a Christ-centered, personalized educational experience that is both fun and creative. And we want you to be a part of that experience. If you have a scholar that is pre-K, ages 3 and 4, or if you have a scholar that is in grades K through 5th grade, we would love to see you here. Why don't you visit us at www.faithmoversacademy.org or call us at 708-279-1012. Remember, Faith Movers Academy, where we're building faith, developing scholars, and revolutionizing education. We'll see you soon.
Faith Movers Academy wants to be part of your child's educational journey. At FMA, we believe every child is a scholar and every scholar has a divine purpose and gift from God. Birthed out of the vision of our senior pastor, Faith Movers Academy is an innovative, Christ-centered, culturally relevant academic institution that believes in personalized learning. At FMA, we believe in hands-on learning, exploring our world through field trips, and giving each scholar an educational experience tailor-made for their learning style. At FMA, Faith Movers Academy will serve children ages 3 to 4 and offer grades kindergarten through 5th grade. Registration is open. Drop by for a tour or come to one of our many open house opportunities. Support the vision. For more information, go to www.faithmoversacademy.org or call 708-279-1012. Remember, Faith Movers Academy, where we are building faith, developing scholars, and revolutionizing education. Join the movement.
Thank you for watching Faith Unscripted with Pastor Moses. If you're ever in the greater Chicago area, Pastor Moses would like to personally invite you to see him live at Faith Movers Church. Faith Movers Church is located 25 minutes from the city of Chicago at 425 Exchange Street, University Park, Illinois, 60484. You can join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. and on Wednesday at noon and 7:30 p.m. We know this will be a transformational experience. Once again, thank you for watching Faith Unscripted with Pastor Moses. And remember, whatever you do,